The entire mess hall froze the moment the tray crashed to the floor. A U.S. Marine stood chest out, jaw tight, staring down at a young woman who looked too calm for someone who had just been shoved in front of the entire base. He thought she was nobody. Every Marine nearby assumed the same. They had no idea she outranked every single person in that room. Asterisk, what city are you watching from today? If this story resonated with you, hit subscribe for more real stories about extraordinary people. Her name was Captain Mara Sloan, and she had learned long ago that the greatest strength was often hidden behind silence. Mara arrived at Camp Westbridge 2 hours earlier as part of an unannounced inspection rotation. She wore a plain service uniform without the markers that usually revealed her position. She was told to blend in, observe the culture, and see how the enlisted behaved when they believed no one important was watching. What she walked into was a base drowning in arrogance. Most of the senior enlisted acted like kings. The junior Marines moved through the halls with shoulders tight, as if waiting for the next explosion of temper. Rumors whispered through the barracks that standards had dropped because certain high-ranking staff treated the camp like their personal territory. Mara did not need rumors to see the truth. She saw it in the way people walked faster when Staff Sergeant Hawley appeared. She saw it in the fear behind the eyes of recruits who were only trying their best. She saw it most clearly in the mess hall, where the loudest Marine in the room believed intimidation was a sport. Staff Sergeant Hawley was built like a wall, loud, confident, and surrounded by Marines who followed him more out of fear than respect. When Mara entered the line with her tray, she noticed how he shoved a smaller Marine aside to get ahead. She watched him mock a recruit for dropping a spoon. She felt the room tighten around him like a storm that refused to break. She stepped forward, calm and steady. Hawley turned, saw someone he did not recognize, and squared his shoulders with a smirk that said he did not need a reason for what he was about to do. He bumped her hard enough to knock her tray from her hands. It hit the floor with a sharp clatter. The hall went silent. A few Marines snickered. Most looked away. A few recruits stared with wide eyes, silently pleading for her not to react. They had learned that reacting only made things worse. Hawley leaned in as if delivering a lesson. He said, "This line is for Marines, not visitors." Mara held his stare without anger. She did not need anger to dismantle a bully. She asked, "Is this how you treat your own people when no one above you is watching?" Hawley laughed. He looked around the room, inviting others to join his confidence. He said, "I outrank everyone in here except the officers, and none of them eat with the likes of you." Mara stepped back, not in fear but in patience. She had studied men like Hawley for years. She knew they thrived on obedience, on silence, on people choosing safety over courage. What he never expected was truth. The door opened at the far end of the hall. 3 officers entered with urgency written across their faces. The base commander walked at the front. He scanned the room until he found Mara. His entire posture changed. He stopped, straightened, and saluted sharply. The other officers followed instantly. Every Marine turned. The room shifted from confusion to disbelief as the commander said with full respect, "Captain Sloan, the inspection briefing is ready. We are at your service." Hale's smirk collapsed. His face drained. He stared at her as if seeing her for the first time. The room that once felt like his kingdom now belonged entirely to the woman he had shoved. Mara did not raise her voice. She did not need to. She said, "Staff Sergeant Hawley, you will report to my office after this meal. We will discuss your treatment of personnel, your abuse of authority, and the culture you have created here. Bring every Marine you have silenced. They will speak freely today." No one had ever spoken to him like that. Not because he was invincible, but because no one with power had ever bothered to look closely. He tried to recover. He muttered, "Captain, I did not know who you were." She answered, "You should treat every person as if they matter, regardless of their rank. If your respect only rises when you believe someone can punish you, then it is not respect." The room breathed again. Recruits lifted their heads with new courage. Marines who had been quiet for years felt something shift inside them. Mara walked to the line again, picked up a new tray, and nodded to the staff inside the kitchen. They served her with a sense of pride they had not felt in years. As she sat down, a young recruit approached. His voice shook with gratitude rather than fear. He said, "Thank you, ma'am." No one has stood up to him in a long time. She responded, "Strength is not measured by who you can push aside. It is measured by who you choose to protect." By the end of the day, Hale's influence had cracked. His subordinates filed into Mara's temporary office with stories they had held in for months. Some spoke quietly. Some trembled. All of them were finally heard. Hale himself arrived finally, shoulders down, pride gone. He admitted everything. He asked how someone as calm as her could overpower a room without raising her voice. She gave him the only answer that ever mattered. She said, "Leadership is not about rank or noise. It is about the weight of the example you set." In the weeks that followed, Camp Westbridge transformed. What was once a place of fear slowly became a place of unity. Recruits stood taller. Senior leaders held each other accountable. Respect returned to the halls where silence once lived. Mara left quietly one morning, the same way she arrived. No ceremony. No announcement. She preferred it that way. She believed that true leadership was not measured by who noticed your entrance, but by what changed after your departure. Her story spread through the Marines not as a tale of authority, but as a reminder that character outweighs rank every single time. Strength is not loud. Honor is not showy. Real power is the courage to stand firm when others choose to look away. Mara carried that truth with her to every base she visited, leaving a trail of restored dignity wherever she walked. And somewhere in the mess hall of Camp Westbridge, a young recruit still remembers the day a captain walked in looking like a stranger and left as the leader everyone had been waiting for. What did this story make you feel? Where are you watching from? Subscribe to Soul Relief Stories for more real stories that heal the heart.